Here's a question. Should you start a YouTube channel in 2019? Yeah. Here's why.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.com.
Hello everybody, welcome to vidIQ, the YouTube tool and channel that aims to educate you on your YouTube journey, and welcome to the first in a series of videos that's going to chart that success in 2019. Throughout this series, we're going to help you get more views, we're going to help you get more subscribers to ultimately grow your YouTube channel. For the full playlist, click over here, and if you want to subscribe to vidIQ to be alerted when new videos come out, then we've got some buttons down here. Go on, give them a click. Alright then, should you start a YouTube channel in 2019? Let's get the obvious question out of the way first. If you've been compelled to click on this video, you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel. YouTube, yeah, this thing right here, it despises, it is disgusted by procrastination. So if you've been thinking about it for the last month, the last week, yesterday, and you're still thinking about it today, this is your push. I don't care if you ruin the watch time on this video. Start that channel right now. You have a passion you want to share, a skill you want to educate people on, or a talent you want to entertain people with. You want to make a difference. Go on, off you pop. Start your channel. I can entertain myself. Oh yeah. Alright, if you're still here and need a little bit more convincing, let's carry on. Do you know how many people use YouTube? Well, the figure stands at around about 1.9 billion users, and those are just the people who are logged into the platform. Imagine that, you have a potential to reach 2 billion users and it won't cost you a penny. There isn't another distribution platform in the world that comes close to that. And you can still make a bucket full of money on YouTube if that's your ultimate goal. Despite the controversies such as the Logan Paul incident and the apocalypse of last year, new monetization requirements, more video creators made more money on YouTube in 2018. According to YouTube, the number of creators making 5 figures is up 35%. The number of video creators earning 6 figures is up 45% year on year. And this doesn't just come from YouTube ad revenue. There are so many ways to make money on YouTube now, from sponsorships, brand deals, super chats, merchandising. The list is almost endless. You can turn your YouTube channel into a business very easily. And speaking of businesses, if you've ever wanted to know what it's like to run one, start a YouTube channel. Finding a gap in a market, creating a product for it, meeting customers' expectations, dealing with problems, creating more products, meeting up with demand. It's YouTube. It's stressful, but it is so rewarding if you nail it. The number of things you have to think about and contend with on YouTube every single day probably runs into the triple digits. From interactive cards on your videos to community tab, from thumbnails to SEO management, it's all consuming, and you can spend hours on a YouTube channel every single day and not get everything nailed down perfectly. But that's the fun of it. Everybody's got a camera of some kind, everybody's got access to the internet. There is no barrier to entry, there's no cost, the only failure is if you quit. I know it sounds scary, and I know it sounds stressful, and believe you me it is. When I started YouTube, I had hair. But 6 years later, after starting this out as a bit of a fun thing to do, this is now my full-time job. Saying this fills me with pride. I get a real buzz out of being able to turn my passion into a career, even though I didn't realise it was a passion when I started it. We'll get back to that in a second. But what makes all of this even more awesome is that I, just like you with your YouTube channel, take on 100% of the responsibility. You are 100% accountable for your failure and success. There is no entry exam, there is no job interview, there is no payment upfront. Everybody starts at zero. Everybody starts. It's a question of whether you can carry on when you face adversity. If you think you're ready for that challenge, YouTube is for you. But the ironic thing is, when I started making videos, I didn't realise YouTube was for me. 15 years ago, wow, that really does sound like a long time, I graduated from university with a degree in creative writing. I thought I would be a sports reporter or a novelist or a journalist. That didn't work out, and I did what all university graduates do when they can't find a job: they go into teaching. I think I burnt myself out of creative writing because I couldn't get enough people to read the stuff that I wanted to write. I didn't want to start at a newspaper and write stories such as Cat Stuck Up Tree. I just want to do what I wanted to do. And when there's nobody taking an interest in what you're doing, that kind of stifles your creative juices. So to begin with, I just used YouTube as a brand new creative outlet and a way to embarrass my mum. Okay, and this is a crazy old mother. How scary is that? That video is more than 10 years old, and the 1500 views represent, I don't know, an office block full of people watching my content, with 20 of those people enjoying it enough to click on the like button. I'd never had that sort of feedback from a creative piece of content, and so my YouTube journey began. It took me another 4 years to start making YouTube videos on a regular basis, and that's probably another story for another time. What I eventually discovered as a creative person was that YouTube was a soapbox which brought the audience to you rather than you trying to scrabble and find it. It's like the person busking on the street. People just walk past and ignore you. But when you are in a concert theatre, people come to watch you, and that's the kind of environment YouTube provides. Whether or not you've made videos before, YouTube is the perfect creative playground. Where there is a creative fulfillment, there is also personal and professional development. With so much to do on YouTube, there is so much to learn. With every video, you'll learn more about filming and editing than you ever cared to know. Then you've got animation, script writing, presenting in front of camera. Believe you me, that is one daunting skill to learn and master. You've got to learn how to market your content through search engine optimization, you know, tags, titles, and descriptions. You've got to become a graphic designer to make those really clickbaity thumbnails. And then you've got to learn how to communicate with your audience. You will learn so much in such a short space of time that in 6 months you'll look back at those videos and think, man, those are terrible, but what a journey it's been. And as momentum grows, you'll hit those milestones: 1,000 subscribers, 100,000 views, monetizing your content. All of these things are such a huge confidence boost that your self-esteem will go through the roof, all thanks to being on YouTube. Now, I know some of you are still not going to be convinced. You think it's too late, the YouTube ship has already sailed, there's too much competition, too many people making too many videos. How do I start from zero? Let's put it into this perspective. Right now, somebody's going to start their YouTube channel today, and by the end of the year, they're going to have 1 million subscribers. I can guarantee that. There's going to be people who start as late as June or July, and they'll have 100,000 subscribers. Really, anybody can do this. So seriously, honestly, truly, what are you still doing watching this video? Get to work. So then, you've taken a plunge and decided to be a video creator on YouTube in 2019. Next step, how do you start a channel? Holy sh...
vidIQ.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.com.
Yes folks, this is the scary part. Actions speak louder than words. You've said you're going to start a YouTube channel, now you need to do it and publish a video. Which actually means turning actions back into words. I didn't really think this one through. Alright then, before we begin, I want you to keep in mind all points. This unarguable, indisputable, undeniable fact. I know starting a YouTube channel can feel utterly overwhelming and daunting, but every single video creator started with 0 views and 0 subscribers, just like you. On day 1, everybody starts on a level playing field. But by day 100, will you have taken the opportunities at hand, listened to the advice that everybody gives you about YouTube, or have you just spent your time complaining about not being able to gain any momentum because of some entitled right you think you have to these views and subscribers? Alright, let's begin. The first question you need to answer is, what is my channel going to be about? The simplest answer to that is, what do you like watching on YouTube? It's going to be a vlogger, or it's going to be a gamer, or it's going to be me. 3 choices, take your pick. As well as your favourite video creators, you'll also have a favourite video style that you gravitate towards. Now this could be long form storytelling videos, and by long form I mean anything over 10 minutes on YouTube, or you could enjoy short montage clips such as Fortnite compilations. Whatever style you like and whatever video creators you like, that's the type of video content you want to create, because at the end of your videos you want to say, yeah, I really enjoyed watching that. Hey, that was my content. So the next time you're on YouTube as a viewer, watch the content with a critical eye, which will improve you as a creator. Oh, that is weird. As for your strategy, your channel focus, the video topics that you're going to cover, we are going to do a deep dive on that in a separate video which you can find over here, unless it's not available yet because of continuity reasons. I haven't filmed that one yet. But I'm going to summarise it briefly here. Make videos on what you're most passionate about. The one thing that you care more about than anything else in the world. The reason being that if you're passionate about something, you'll be very knowledgeable about it. And you'll be able to share this with your audience with energy, vibe, and enthusiasm that you may not have for any other topic. To put it in very simple terms, which sport do you enjoy most? Which team do you support from that sport? Why? And you'll be able to reel off so many things versus another team in that sport. But as I say, we'll cover this in a lot more detail in a future video. Do check it out. Another good habit to start developing now is to always be in the mindset of a video creator when you are on the YouTube platform. As a YouTube viewer, you can press play and simply enjoy the content, but as a video creator, you want to get behind the scenes of everything that's going on with every single video that you watch. Why am I even watching this video? Is it because of an intriguing title or because of a clickbaity custom thumbnail? Were the tags used relevant to what I was searching for? Why did the video creator include this paragraph in the video description? There are so many things you need to think about as a video creator outside of just making content, and that's where vidIQ can come in. Once you download it, it will transform the way you use YouTube on the desktop. It will give you so many analytics for every single video that you watch, and when you do a search, you'll see all of the trending keywords, related keywords, tags that different videos use. There's tons of stuff there, and a lot of it is for free. So for now, I recommend downloading it, watching the beginner's guide, just getting familiar with some of the major tools that we have, and we can leverage the power of it later on in this series. Just remember to think beyond the video you're watching and consider everything else that goes into the production of it, and that's where vidIQ can help. Now let's focus on a couple of technical aspects about your YouTube account. First of all, your channel name. While in the long term this is going to be very important, in the short term, if you're not sure what to call yourself, don't worry, you can change your name in the future. However, when you decide that you want a custom URL that has your channel name in your web address, then it does become important. However, when you first start your channel, you don't meet the requirements to get a custom URL, so don't worry about that too much yet. One thing that you can do immediately, however, and you should, is to verify your YouTube account. When I talk about verification, I don't mean this verified checkmark against your channel name. This is usually reserved for channels with over 100,000 subscribers. What I'm talking about is verifying your YouTube account, which gives you access to new YouTube features instantly, such as being able to upload videos longer than 15 minutes and custom thumbnails. Even if you use neither of those features to begin with, you want those in place straight away. In fact, there's no excuse not to do it now. As always, I can entertain myself. And I did this in one take. And I just dropped the ball. Next up, let's talk about tech. Don't use it as an excuse not to start making videos. Use what you have at your disposal right now. This is my very first video in front of camera, and ironically, I was reviewing a portable camera at the time. The audio is terrible, the video is terrible, but at least I got down what I could. Of course, what I do need is a mirror and a really tasteless shirt. And this is my first video trying to use a green screen. The video and the audio is marginally better, but the lighting continues to be absolutely terrible, and I am totally wooden in front of camera. It's absolutely necessary that I stand in front of a camera. And things really haven't changed much since then. I would say 95% of you are going to have one of these in your pocket that does perfectly good video and audio. By simply pressing record with any sort of tech, you're going to learn how to frame a shot, deal with background noise, shooting outdoors, lighting, all of those variables that even the best video creators with the most expensive technology still have to deal with. It's all about gaining experience right now. And to begin with, a lot of it really does come down to that. Press record to gain experience. Even if you decide never to publish your first video, just record it. Just edit it, just upload it, write a title, write a description, create a custom thumbnail if you want to. Do all of the things that prepare you for making a YouTube video, and then you can decide whether or not to click that publish button. If you're a vlogger, you're going to do this hundreds of times. If you're a gamer, you could do this thousands of times in your YouTube career. My personal experience now runs in a region of about 1,500 videos total on YouTube. And I've been responsible for every single aspect of those videos in all but a handful of occasions. In terms of knowledge, skills and experience, I've gone from here to here. But in reality, I know I want to end up over here. If you don't start, you'll never learn, but if you keep going, you'll never stop learning. Oh, so inspirational, but that took me 12 takes to get right. Congratulations are in order on your first video. Now you're a YouTube practitioner, you also need to become a YouTube student, and there are tons of resources available for you to use. Now this would be the perfect opportunity to plug vidIQ's tools and the awesome tips and tricks you can get from his channel, but since you're already here, let me tell you about one resource that so many people miss, but it's actually from YouTube, and that's their Creator Academy, and it's completely free. It is chock full of several courses, dozens of lessons. It's like an online university for YouTube, and there is a YouTube channel called the Creator Academy that you can also watch tons of videos on as well. Do check it out. A lot of people miss this resource and it is absolutely free. Another discipline you'll want to master early on in your YouTube journey is this. Don't compare yourself to other channels. It is a toxic exercise that will sap your strength and suck motivation right out of you. Don't compare yourself to the huge YouTube channels that you admire. Don't even compare yourselves to channels that started at the same time as you. By all means, analyze their content and see why they are successful in the things that they do, but comparing numbers is just a futile exercise. If you start comparing yourself, you'll keep asking the why question. Why is that channel doing better than me? I have better content than them. Why is my channel not performing? All you'll do is talk yourself out of the positivity of your own channel and focus on what other channels are doing, and that's just a waste of everybody's time. Remember what I said in the very first video in this series. YouTube despises procrastination, and when you start asking that why question, that's all you're doing. Once you've got over the excitement of creating your channel and publishing your first couple of videos, you are going to need a healthy dose of patience. There is a quote that I'd love to attribute to the right person, but when I did a Google search on it, it seems as if loads of people have said this. Overnight success can take 10 years. If this is your first visit to vidIQ and you're thinking, wow, this is awesome, how did I not already know about this content? Hello, I've been here for 2.5 years making vidIQ videos. We've got over 8 million views and 250,000 subscribers. That took a long time. This here, this silver play button which celebrates 100,000 subscribers, that took 10 years. I mean, granted I've got a few more since then, but you get the idea. A sprint, YouTube definitely is not. It's not even a marathon, to be honest. It's like one of those Ironman challenges where you've got to swim 6 miles, cycle another 40 and then run another 20, and then climb Everest at the end of it. And there you have it, folks, how to start your YouTube channel, all bundled up in a nice 10-minute package. No. There are so many ways you could tackle this question that even a 3-hour video wouldn't do it justice, but it gets to a point where it's over to you. You just have to start to gain some experience and then learn from there. And we'll take you through the rest of the YouTube journey as we go through this series. If there are any points that you think you would like me to cover more, or things that you think are really important for starting a YouTube channel that we've missed, do let us know in the comments below. Alright, listen up. This is important. First round of the final of the second leg of the YouTube Cup final. We're going to play a shotgun formation with a nickel and dime on the top here, outputting to the subscriber count. We've got likes and dislikes playing on substitutions, and then suggested videos playing a long ball to monetization, which will hopefully play the offside trap to the notification bell. You get all that?
vidIQ.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.com.
If you're going to use a prop, you might as well milk it for all it's worth. Alright then, let's get to the important stuff. In the first couple of videos in this series, we've been talking about how you should just start making videos. Hashtag press record. Get something out there, gain some experience, start your channel just so that you have an understanding of the very basics, the fundamentals of what goes into a channel and a YouTube video. But eventually, you're going to need a channel strategy in place to attract an audience, build a community, and sustain the channel in a long run so you don't run out of ideas and burn out. So let's take a look at where you should start. Alright, I've got a little challenge for you, and this may take a while, but it's really worth doing to try and identify your target audience. If you were to pick out one ideal viewer in the world, who would they be? And answer the following questions. What gender are they? How old are they? What's their occupation? What is their main interest in life? What are they trying to learn? What are they trying to fix? What is the one thing they are struggling with? Essentially, what I'm asking you to do here is profile your ideal viewing candidate. And there's two reasons for doing that. The first reason is to get you into the mindset of what's in it for the viewer, not what's in it for you and your channel. Let's be honest about this. When you watch somebody's content for the first time, you don't care about that somebody because you know nothing about that somebody. That somebody has to first provide value to you, the viewer, before they are willing to invest back into the somebody who eventually becomes a name at some point. This is what I like to refer to as the trust factor, and we'll talk a lot more about this in a future video about how to get more subscribers. The second reason for doing this is that the vast majority of you will realize that you're profiling yourself. More often than not, what you like watching on YouTube is going to end up being similar to what you end up creating on YouTube. And it may be that you enjoy several different topics that identify with different demographics on YouTube, from politics to soccer, from wrestling to video games, but strip all of that away until you have one specific answer to every single question that I've asked and other questions that come up in your head about how to profile your ideal viewer. Ultimately, the goal of this exercise is to have as much of this as possible. Call it your channel focus, call it your niche, call it your niche, call it your niches. That one ideal viewer that you've just profiled, you want to make videos that target that person time and time again. As I said earlier, you might have all of these different little interests, but this is the one that you know most about, and this is the one your audience expects when you create content. Concentrate on this topic, whatever it is. Let me give you a couple of great examples. We did a case study on a channel which had no direction. They're doing prank videos and then exposés on different YouTubers and a couple of gaming videos, and they were getting a few hundred views. And then they changed their attention to one particular topic on a particular game, and that was how to increase frames per second on the game called Fortnite. And when they concentrated on that one topic and produced video after video, they went from hundreds of views per video to thousands, if not tens of thousands of views per video. If you want to watch this case study, click on screen now. Want another example of channel focus? You've got it. I used to run a technology channel, and when I focused on the one particular topic of how to record your iPhone screen, my views again went from hundreds to thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of views. And if you search for VGJ Felix iPhone screen recording, you can take a look for yourself. You will find that most successful channels started with one focus, and over time they built up value with their audience, who put trust into the video creator, who could then take them onto other topics. Let's look at it from this weird Rob Wilson point of view. When people line up at a bus stop, they're lining up for a particular bus to take them to a particular destination. And if they get on that bus every single day, they may get to know the driver, and they may get friendly with the driver. And at some point, they may build up a friendship with them to a point where, hey, I go to this location every single weekday, but I want to go somewhere else at the weekend, and you know what? I'd like that bus driver to take me there because I enjoy their company. Does that work as an analogy of a YouTube channel? We understand that your channel focus can be very difficult to define at the start of your YouTube journey, which is another reason why you should be experimenting as much as possible as early as possible. Through this, you'll get a flavour of the type of videos you enjoy making and the topics you enjoy talking about, as well as how your audience reacts to it. This process could take one video, it could take 5 videos, it could take 50 videos, it could take 500 videos before you really know what your focus is on your channel, and that's fine. Remember what we said in the how to start your YouTube channel video? Patience. And just one more thing, what is your channel focus if you're a vlogger? And I think the best answer I can give you is storytelling. You have the unenviable task of getting the audience to place value in you within seconds of meeting you. And that's done through an emotional connection, which is ultimately storytelling. Good luck with that. You know what we do here on the vidIQ channel, right? We educate video creators, i.e. you, on their YouTube journey. That is currently our elevator pitch. You can call this your value proposition, or you can pose it as a question. who should be watching and why. For the two examples we've already looked at, the elevator pitch might be, I want to help gamers improve the performance of Fortnite on their PC, and I want to help iPhone and iPad owners record their screens. But those elevator pitches probably don't go far enough, and they don't really talk about the why. They talk about the who and the what. So let's go back to that first example. A video creator is making content that helps PC users improve the performance of Fortnite on their PCs. But the question is why? And I think the answer is if the game performance is improved, that allows the player to improve their own performance. So I came up with the value proposition of improve the game, level up your skills. Example 2, showing people how to record their iPhone screens. But why? Well, once people know how to record their iPhone screens, they're going to want to do something with these recordings. That means sharing it somewhere, so I came up with a value proposition, record Apple, share your moments. And yeah, that's my effort of drawing a little apple. Now I know these value propositions are flaky at best because I've spent 5 minutes coming up with them. So here are some good examples from some industry leading channels. Tim Schmoyer and his Video Creators TV value proposition is certainly one of the best in the business. Master YouTube tells you the who and the what. Spread Your Message tells you the why. The ultimate guide to growing your following and making money as a video influencer. Sean Cannell and Benji Travis over at Video Influencers leave you in no doubt as to what their channel is all about. But in some rare cases, your value proposition can be summed up in a single word. Evan Carmichael wants you to believe. And now it's back over to you folks for another exercise you can do in the comments below. What is the value proposition of your channel? The who, the what, and most importantly, the why. Try and keep it to 10 words or less, and I'll be looking through those comments and giving you feedback as soon as I can. You see what I did there? I wrote consistency 3 times. I've also got to remember to rub this out straight away because the dry erase ink still marks this board for some reason. I've got a question for regular followers of vidIQ. Do you know how often we post videos? We don't share this information on our channel banner in the about section of our channel, in video descriptions, and I don't tell you what the schedule is on videos themselves, but we post videos on Monday, generally at around 8 AM Pacific Standard Time, and we do a live stream every Tuesday at 11 AM, and then we have other videos spread it across the week whenever we feel it's necessary or if it's a trending topic. But the key schedule that we hold is a Monday and a Tuesday. And now you're probably thinking, oh yeah, there's always something from vidIQ at the beginning of the week. So we stick to a consistent schedule with bonuses on top. Also, you know that when you watch a vidIQ video, it's going to be something about growing your channel, getting more views, getting more subscribers, how to do something on YouTube. All of our content surrounds the YouTube universe. So in summary, we have a consistent posting schedule and we have a consistent focus on the topics that we cover here at vidIQ. You want to make a promise, written down or not, to both yourself and your audience about when you're going to post videos and what they are generally going to be about. Now, how I recommend doing that is working to 80% of your maximum YouTube capacity. In other words, if you could publish 4 videos a week, aim to publish 3 videos a week, and then you always have a bit of leeway for when life gets in the way. If you make 4 videos a week, then consider one of them perhaps an experimental one. You can cover a slightly different topic to what your audience is used to, or a different video style, something that gains experience for you as a video creator and sustains you creatively. Be bigger, be better, be different. Have I spelled that right? This is the unspoken question that you may never hear but is always asked, and you need to try and answer as soon as you start your channel. Why should I watch your video? And YouTube's algorithm is asking a similar question. Why should we promote your content? Let's start with the bigger principle first. When I had a tech channel, I was trying to find ways of making my tutorials more appealing to viewers. And when I saw video creators doing 10 tips on a Galaxy S8, I thought, let's go bigger than this, let's go much bigger, let's do 150 tips on the Galaxy S8. And I thought, if I'm going to do a camera guide on the Galaxy S8, I'm not just going to cover a couple of tips, I'm going to give people a comprehensive user guide. So I did 40 tips on the camera. Because those videos were huge, they got massive watch time. YouTube loves that. and so they promoted my videos more. If you search for Galaxy S8 tips on YouTube, you should find 2 of my videos towards the top of the list, both with close to 1 million views. So that's one strategy if you can work it into your channel focus. Now let's move on to the better principle, and we're going to use Ninja as an example. He had a phenomenal 2018, crushing 20 million subscribers and gaining at least 50 million subscribers in that year alone. The question is, why do so many people watch Ninja on YouTube? And the answer is simple. He is one of the best Fortnite players in the world. You can only find that level of skill on a select few YouTube channels. And with his daily posting schedule, that helped propel him into the stratosphere. And if you want to know more about how he is so successful, we've done a case study on Ninja. Do check it out. There is a link on screen now. Being bigger can take up a lot of time, energy, and resources. Being better can take years of practice. But you can always and instantly be different. Being different means providing something new and intriguing to the YouTube audience. And there's also a lot less competition as well if you're completely different to anyone else. I want to ask you a slightly strange Rob Wilson question. Would you prefer to fish in the ocean where there's an abundance of fish, but there's also lots of other boats trying to catch that fish? Or would you prefer your own little lake where there's a lot less fish, but there's only you fishing there? If you have something of value that you can share that nobody else in the world can reproduce, you've hit the jackpot. And this goes back to finding your niche, your own little corner on YouTube, which you can dominate and become the authority on. We don't expect you to have your channel strategy locked down within the first week of you starting your YouTube channel. Think of it as a kind of business plan. The only difference being is that you start the business first and then you write the plan as you shape your business. I don't know, is that terrible business advice? Yeah, probably. I will go back to this point. Gaining experience on YouTube is more valuable than anything else right now, and it will help shape the future of your channel. One last thing I want you to consider in your channel strategy. Don't forget you in the strategy. Some people describe this as being uniquely you. Define yourself as a video creator and people will either gravitate towards it or they will despise it. One way or the other, they'll have an opinion, and that's better than no opinion at all. By now, you're probably getting a flavour of who I am on vidIQ and how I present my videos. You can either like it or you don't. All I'm interested in is the people who are still watching right now. And thank you very much for that. Okay, here we go. I've got no video ideas.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.com.
Alright, let's try and do this in one take. Remember in my earlier video I said YouTube is like running a business. Well, each video is like a product or service launch, and you've got to do that 2 or 3 times a week. So imagine trying to come up with all of these ideas all of the time. And if you can't, you end up procrastinating, and as I've already said, YouTube hates that. So how do you get beyond that? One take! I remember saying in our very first video in this series that you should just press record, make some videos, upload them so you could get an understanding of how the YouTube sausage factory works. But what we've also talked about already is a YouTube strategy, which is to focus on a particular niche, where you're actually narrowing down your topics, and that could make it more difficult to generate video ideas. So here's a few tips, tricks and tools that you can use to ensure that you have a long list of video ideas so you never run out of them. It's just finding the time to make them all. We're going to start simple, and that's probably your best friend when it comes to generating video ideas, and it's the search bar on YouTube. Why is it so powerful? Well, remember, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, and 2 billion people use YouTube every month. What makes the search bar so powerful is the suggestions that it gives you. Let's start very basic, and I'm going to type in the word slime and look at these suggestions that come up. The first suggestion is already fascinating, slime ASMR. It's combining 2 different genres together, and that seems to be a search that people are actually looking for these days. Usually though, you want to be a little more strategic with your searches. So let's say you were a slime channel, you might search for how to make slime. And just look at the video suggestions here. How to make slime without glue. How to make slime with glue. Or how to make slime with activator, whatever that is. I have no idea, but if you're interested in the topic of slime, I'm sure you will do. And there are at least 10 video ideas that you could take from this simple suggestion from YouTube. You can take this concept even further as well with this pro tip. We have here a keyword phrase, how to make slime. What we can do now is play the alphabet game. All we're going to do is add a single character to the end of this phrase, how to make slime A, And look at all the options we get. Then we can add B. And then we can add C. And so on like this through the alphabet. And this could generate literally hundreds of ideas from a simple keyword phrase. And these are not random search terms that YouTube is just throwing at you. These are search terms that people are searching for today. It's the pulse of the YouTube search, what's popular. And we can look at this with some trending topics. This time I'm going to search for part of somebody's name, and that is Steph. And the result we're interested in here is Stefanos Tsitsipas halfway down. Who is he and why is this important? Well, he's a tennis player who very recently beat Roger Federer at the Australian Open. So it was a big news story in tennis, and that's why his name now auto-completes from Steph. And there you have the YouTube search bar, the simplest tool to use, but one of the most powerful for generating very simple video ideas. Now what we're going to do is sprinkle a little bit of vidIQ magic all over this. Down the right hand side here you have some vidIQ tools which you get when you install our Chrome extension. The first one being keyword score. This is generally saying that it has a high volume search but low competition score. In other words, a lot of people have been searching for this and not many videos were being put out by video creators. So there may be a window of opportunity for you here to get in on the keyword if tennis was your video topic. Below that we've got related queries, so this could add more video ideas to your content following on from the keyword of Stefanos Tsitsipas. And one final tool I want to show you here, if we click on inline keywords here, it shows you all of the video tags or metadata for the videos that are doing well. So you could look at these keywords and maybe use them for your own videos, or if you click on one, it launches our keyword inspector and shows you how the keyword has been trending over the last 30 days. So as we can see, as Stefanos Tsitsipas was doing very well in the tournament, he was starting to peak and really trend. But after the tournament, interest has very quickly waned. So this is one of those red hot keywords where the window of opportunity may already have passed. And I just want to show you how powerful this search bar can be when you follow it with your content. I've got a search here for how to unlock an iPhone 10, and if I scroll down this list, I'm interested in this video because it has just 6,000 subscribers from the channel, but a video with over 130,000 views. And the simple title is how to unlock an iPhone 10 without Face ID or passcode. So very keyword rich, telling the viewer exactly what they need. And it's supported by these very focused keywords as well. So we're talking a lot about how focused all of your video content should be on one particular topic. And this video nails it absolutely perfectly. That's a lot to take in, isn't it? What we've just done is transitioned a little bit from generating video ideas to search engine optimization, making your videos as discoverable as possible on YouTube. I don't want you to stress too much about SEO or keyword research right now, but you have to remember from YouTube's perspective, they know relatively little about your channel when you first start out. So trying to give them as much information as possible, such as using keywords that people are searching for, will certainly give you a little bit of a boost when you first start creating videos. If, on the other hand, you find keyword research absolutely fascinating, we've made a monster guide on this already. There is a link right here. One more thing I want to add about making trending topic videos. I have said previously in this series that you should try and work to 75–80% of your YouTube capacity. In other words, if you can make 4 videos a week, then make 3, so you've got a bit of space to experiment, or in this case, go after trending topics when they happen. Now, this could be a reaction to a new film trailer, or covering a big news controversy in technology, or a political event. Whatever your interest of topic is, if you have the opportunity to talk about something that's happening now, try it and see what happens. The reason I say this is because we jumped on the PewDiePie vs T-Series subscriber race story in December as a trending topic, and our viewing figures went through the roof. I don't recommend throwing all of your efforts into trending topics because it can be a very difficult nut to crack. It is a little bit like a shot in the dark, but when you hit that bullseye, you can really benefit with millions of views. And let's face it, from an idea generating point of view, whatever you're passionate about, there's going to be new stories on your passion every single day. You just need to find the right ones and nail it with the right video. Okay, on to the next idea generator, and that is the people I'm talking to right now. you, the audience. There are many ways to involve your audience in generating ideas for your content. One such way is to post a comment on your own videos, asking the audience what they would like to see next, and then pinning that comment to the top of the video so everyone sees it. A good idea is also to sift through the comments from time to time, because chances are, especially if you are an educational or how-to channel, people will be asking you to make certain videos on certain topics. By simply filtering the comments on vidIQ for "can you make a video," I found several comments which could easily turn into full-blown videos. And let's not forget the people who are watching right now. So, as somebody starting their YouTube channel in 2019, what videos do you want to see in this series to help you grow your channel? Let us know in the comments below. I'll be reading them all and probably making videos out of some of them. Another fantastic way to generate video ideas is from your competition. I don't know why I'm using quotes. You could call them your colleagues, your fellow video creators. There are going to be thousands of people just like you making similar content, so you want to do a bit of spying on them because they may have some great ideas that you can turn into videos. Now you can of course track your so-called competition by subscribing to them, but we have a tool that helps you a little bit with this sort of thing. It's called our competitors tool, and what this does is it shows you the most popular videos for the channels that you're following in terms of views per hour. So these are ones with high velocity in the last week. So we can see from our competitors that the Creators Insider channel is making something about new features in his studio beta. We could look at that, maybe make a video on it. Sean Cannell has videos about how to make videos that get views, a complete checklist. Again, we could look at that and maybe use some of those ideas for our own video content. There's one here about how to increase audience retention. These are all topics certainly within our wheelhouse, and we could maybe use this to create our own video content. Now let's clarify what I'm talking about here. You're using these competitors' videos to get inspiration for your own content. You're not going to watch these videos, jot down everything they say, and then just copy it on your channel. What you should be looking at here are the general topics and keywords that these channels are using, and then putting your own spin on these things. By virtue of you creating a video on that topic, you'll add your own flavour to it. I'm pretty certain that there's already hundreds, if not thousands of videos on this topic of generating video ideas for YouTube channels. But because of my experience as a video creator and my passion for the subject, I'm hoping that this is a fresh perspective on generating video ideas. Of course, you, the audience, will be the judge of that and whether or not this video is successful and starts to rank for the search term of how to generate video ideas or similar. Now, so far, we've only looked within the YouTube platform to help us generate video ideas. But remember, the internet is a pretty big place. Whether it be Facebook groups or what you would call influencers on Twitter and Instagram, news sites, Reddits, there's always going to be sources of information that are absolute gold that you can turn into ideas for your YouTube videos. Just to give you a quick example of the sources we use to help us generate video ideas, we follow YouTube wherever they are on the internet, especially on Twitter. The Team YouTube Twitter handle is a goldmine of information. We look at their YouTube blog and the creator blog. We're also scanning the YouTube subreddits. There's plenty of fun stuff to look around at there. TubeFilter is an excellent one for news source about YouTube things. And also YouTube's support and community pages are really valuable when we want to cover something about monetization. If you followed our channel for any length of time, you will know that monetization is a big issue for video creators every single day, and every time we make videos on that, we get a surge in views. So that's one area where we've carved out a little bit of a niche in the YouTube space. So they have some broad strokes, I don't know why I'm animating that, but it feels good, on how to generate video ideas on YouTube. However, if you don't feel as if we went far enough in this video, we've actually done another video on this topic around about 6 months ago. 30 specific ideas for generating video ideas for your YouTube channel, where I have a little bit more fun in that one. I even start with a rap, so it's worth checking out just for that. Now, this is a story all about how my analytics got flipped upside. Get it off screen, I don't need to see it now. This is a bit of a difficult video to pitch to you because some people love this sort of stuff while others absolutely hate it. We're talking about YouTube numbers, analytics. Whether you like them or loathe them, you cannot avoid them, and they could help determine the growth of your channel. So let's jump into the shallow end of this topic.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.com.
Alright then, for those of you who hate analytics, here is the abridged version. Impressions on YouTube leads to click-through rate. That leads to views. Views leads to watch time. In some cases, that will lead to subscribers. From a watch time, that leads to YouTube sharing your content with more of the YouTube audience. Sometimes. There you are, thanks for watching, goodbye. Although it does make me wonder why you clicked on this video in the first place. Also, one final thing on a completely unrelated note, have you noticed there's more light in this area of the screen now? It's because I forgot to close the curtains, and now we've got lots of natural light streaming into the office, so I need to fix that or we're going to have all sorts of continuity issues as this video progresses. Bear with me. That's fixed it. Alright then, let's get down to business. This right here is a thumbnail and title from a Philip DeFranco video. He's a fantastic video creator and I highly recommend watching some of his stuff. We are seeing this on the YouTube homepage, but it could also appear in search results, subscription feeds, watch history, the trending page, in recommendations and in video playlists. Very simply put, this is classed as an impression. Every time someone sees more than 50% of a thumbnail on screen, that video gets one impression. What impressions effectively represent on YouTube is free advertising for your content. Every time that thumbnail and title is put in front of a potential viewer, they could click on it and become an actual viewer. We will circle back round to the importance of impressions later on in this video, but to summarise, all analytics start with impressions. I mean, somebody has to see the thumbnail and the title in order to click on it. So where do we find out this information? Strap yourselves in, folks, we're going to take a look at your analytics for your channel. In order to do this, on most YouTube pages, you will see your channel icon in the top right hand corner. Click there and then click on Creator Studio. If it looks like this, which is the old version, you'll want to make sure you go to the beta studio, so click on the link in the top left hand corner here, and eventually you should end up with a page that looks something like this. The reason I'm sending you to the new channel analytics page, or Creator Studio as YouTube likes to call it, is because impressions are not available in the old analytics pages. So to look at your channel analytics, down the left hand side you have some options here. Click on Analytics. This will show you your channel analytics, and along the top here you have several tabs, and you want to click on Reach Viewers, and this will give you a breakdown of impressions over the last 28 days for your channel. So as an example, the thumbnails from our videos here at vidIQ were seen 6.7 million times over the last 28 days. To really understand what impressions means, we'll return to this later on, but I do want to show you a couple more things while we're in the analytics. If you click on Overview and then click on the top videos box, this will list your best performing videos, and you can see a rundown of individual impressions for different videos here, so something to track if you want a more granular view of how videos are performing with impressions. Now, the impressions analytics in isolation mean absolutely nothing. You could have 1 billion impressions, but if nobody ever clicks on any of your thumbnails and watches your content, then it's meaningless. However, if somebody does see a thumbnail and decides to click on it, that converts the impression into a view, and this is known as click-through rate. Time for a very basic example. Let's go back to our Philip DeFranco video, and let's say this thumbnail was seen 11 million times, or 11 million impressions. We can see the video has 1.1 million views, and those views represent how many times the video was clicked on. Hence, a very simple calculation of 10% click-through rate from impressions to views. You will find your click-through rate in the same place you find impressions on your channel analytics under Reach Viewers. If you click on the box, it will change the graph to represent what your click-through rate is. Ours over the last 28 days is 4.2%. In the flow of YouTube metrics, click-through rate is the first important number to start analysing. It basically grades your thumbnails and your titles. If they're more intriguing, enticing, interesting, exciting, people are going to click on them and your click-through rate will go up. Now at this point, a lot of people want to ask the question, well, what is a good click-through rate for my channel? YouTube will tell you the average is between 2 and 10%. But if you approach click-through rate analysis from this point of view, you're doing it all wrong. And this is the reason why. This time last year, our click-through rate, or CTR, was at 2.7%. And we knew we needed to improve that. So we worked a lot on our titling strategy and especially on our thumbnails, so that they went from looking like this to looking like this. Personal taste may lead some of you to prefer the thumbnail on the left, but I'm convinced the majority of you will prefer the thumbnail on the right. The result of these improvements, as you saw earlier, is that our CTR now sits at around 4.2%, which doesn't sound much. But when you calculate the actual difference, our videos are now 55% more likely to be clicked on than this time last year. This is why your video title and thumbnail is so important. You could make the greatest video content in the world, but if you don't spend enough time trying to convince a potential viewer to click on that little box on a YouTube page, you could be missing out on thousands, millions of views for a relatively small amount of work. And of course, we're delighted from where we've come from, but we still want to go further. We want to continue to increase our click-through rate. So that's what you should do. Look at your click-through rate today, set that as your benchmark and aim to improve on it with every single video that you make. So impressions represents how often your content is advertised to an audience, and CTR represents how often that audience clicks on those advertisements to watch your content. And that leads us to views. Now yes, views are very good as a headline statement. This video went viral and got 5 million views. But from a video creator's perspective, views aren't really that interesting. Views are kind of like the beam at the top of a lighthouse. Everybody can see that, but they don't appreciate all of the foundations and fundamentals that go into how that beam operates. And in the past, views would have been super important, but the YouTube algorithm is a little more sophisticated than that. Essentially, a view represents a visit to a video, but it doesn't tell you how long the visitor was watching that video. And that's where we get to perhaps the most important analytic on YouTube, watch time. Watch time literally is the amount of time each viewer spends watching a video. As a simple example, video A is 2 minutes long, and let's say that each viewer who watches the video views the entire video. Don't worry, we'll come back to view duration in a minute. That means if a video is watched 1,000 times for 100% of its length, that equals 2,000 minutes of total watch time. But let's be honest, nobody ever watches an entire YouTube video, right? So let's make this a little more realistic. Video B is a 10-minute video, but on average, people only watch half of a video, which leaves us with a view duration of 5 minutes. Video B also only gets half of the views video A did, but when you times 5 minutes by 500 views, you still end up with more watch time than video A. Now granted, this is an oversimplification of watch time and it gets a lot more complicated, and I know there's some of you asking questions such as, well, should I just make longer videos? Remember, we're jumping into the shallow end of analytics in this particular video, and we'll touch on watch time throughout this series later on in the year. There's some very simple logic that we all need to follow. The longer you spend watching videos, the happier YouTube is. The longer you spend on the platform, the more opportunities YouTube has to serve you with adverts. Everybody wins in that situation. And with all that in mind, let's go back to our analytics. Currently, we are on the Reach Viewers tab. If I click on the Overview tab, this will give me the total watch time for the vidIQ channel over the last 28 days, which is 1.3 million minutes. We've also just talked about average view duration of your videos. So if you want to see that statistic, the Interest Viewers tab is where you want to go. And currently on vidIQ, we're at 2 minutes 32 per video. Now, obviously, this doesn't take into account the length of videos, so if you wanted to go into more detail, you would have to click on a particular video. So we're going to go to the video list here, and we'll choose one of the videos from the list. Let's go for this most recent one, how to grow your channel fast in 2019. Then click on Analytics. Then go to Interest Viewers here, and it can tell us that the view duration for this video is 4 minutes 13, so a lot higher than average on the channel. Now, generally speaking, longer videos obviously means more watch time. And if you can get your watch time above, say, 8 to 10 minutes, that seems to be a sweet spot for YouTube promoting your content more. But that's not always the case. Remember, that's a general rule. For example, there is a channel called Lucas the Spider, which has nearly 3 million subscribers, and every single video on their channel is less than a minute. And yet their videos have tens of millions of views. Now, one obvious reason for this is because the content is amazing. The animation is on a Disney level scale. And another potential reason might be because of session watch time. Yeah, we're getting a little bit deeper now into analytics. Let me explain this one. While one Lucas the Spider video might be 50 seconds long, 2 videos makes it more than a minute. 4 videos makes it more than 2 minutes, and so on. If your content keeps a viewer on YouTube watching more videos, this is known as session watch time. And since kids love watching the same thing over and over again, driving their parents insane, you can bet that despite these being short form videos, they will generate billions of minutes of watch time. Now, people will binge watch your content if they fall in love with it, and that means watching every single video from start to finish. And this is where we start to look at average view duration. As with click-through rate, we've worked hard at vidIQ over the last year to improve our average view duration, moving from 1 minute 38 seconds to 2 minute 32 seconds. On average, people are watching our content 43% longer than they were last year. So as before, rather than trying to set yourself a lofty, ambitious goal, set a current benchmark and aim to improve on that. But all of this is at a channel level. To get the full story, you need to dig into your individual videos. To do this, click on the videos link and choose a video that you want to look at the average view duration for. We're going to choose this video for this example, and then go to analytics. And what you'll have here on the overview screen is audience retention, which is showing for this current video, it's watched an average of 2 minutes 48 seconds, which is 52% of the video's total length. Now again, I'm going to generalize somewhat, but if you can get your average audience retention over 50% on your videos, you're generally doing a pretty good job. And again, you could use this as a benchmark. Aim for a point where you can get 50% audience retention on your videos, and then increase the video length and still try and maintain that audience retention, and your watch time will start to grow. So we've talked about impressions, we've talked about click-through rate, we've touched on views, and we've gone into detail about watch time, view duration, and audience retention. But what does all of this collectively mean? Well, this is where we come to something super critical for your channel, and yet it is so tiny. A single orange sliver of a line, which basically tells you how much YouTube likes your channel. For this one, let's start from the beginning because it is quite an important analytic. From the dashboard, click on Analytics, and then go to the Reach Viewers section again at the top. And this is the funnel that you want, impressions and how they lead to watch time. This neatly shows all the important analytics we've already talked about, impressions, click-through rate, views and watch time. But what's new here is this golden nugget of information. How often YouTube recommends your content versus how often viewers are seeking out your content. Remember that impressions represent free advertising from YouTube, so you want as much of this line as orange as possible. And if you click this information icon, it will break this line down even further. Recommended on watch page, recommended on home pages. That's where your channel will grow the most organically, reaching new audiences every single day. And look what it says right at the bottom. You can increase the chance of YouTube suggesting your content by increasing your click-through rate and your video watch time. Makes me wonder why I didn't use this line at the very beginning of the video, and I would have saved us all 15 minutes. But hey, I need the watch time. If YouTube likes both your click-through rate and watch time, it can have a dramatic effect on your videos. This is data from a single video we published before Christmas on PewDiePie, and YouTube shared it everywhere, helping it to over 350,000 views. That's more than 10 times the normal number of views we might expect. And remember what I said earlier, while views may be the headline statement, it's the high click-through rate with the high audience retention that probably has a lot to do with why this video was so successful. Now, I appreciate that YouTube analytics can be quite daunting, especially if you've never used them before or numbers aren't your thing. So I hope through this video you've learned some of the terminology and the important numbers. As way of a homework, do let us know in the comments below what your channel click-through rate is and your average view duration. And don't worry, I know we've barely touched views in this video and we haven't looked at subscribers at all in terms of YouTube analytics. We're going to save those for dedicated videos later on in this series. Now, if this video has left you wanting more from YouTube analytics, don't forget to try the vidIQ channel audit tool. Once you open that screen, it's going to give you a massive information that can really help your channel. It's kind of like having a YouTube consultant 24/7. If you haven't already downloaded vidIQ, make sure to do so. It will help you research YouTube, analyze videos, audit your channel, as I've just said, and take actionable steps to help grow your channel. If you want to see more from this series that's going to chart your success on YouTube in 2019, the full playlist is here. For more awesome vidIQ stuff, there's another playlist down here. Enjoy the rest of your video making day. We'll see you on either of those videos, unless you want to watch this. Come on, YouTube! Like me more!